Let us not forget everything that happens is by the will of Allah. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or do you think about, but to stand together as one. To Sunnahfollowers streaming every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnahfollowers. Sunnahfollowers. Presenting Volume 2 of Diluting Al-Wala Wal-Bara, part of the Right Belief series, the Unveiled Trilogy, written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This book will focus on awakening the faith in a non-faith-centered world. Explained, broken down, and brought to you, unlike before, by Ustada lailanasheeba. Join us Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sunnahfollowers.
This is our Aqidah class on diluting wala wal bara. We are going to cover tonight pages 72 through 74, which ends the chapter. That chapter on the fitra, which is basically how to ignite and how to keep our fitra burning and help it on its way to find Allah. Its way back to Allah when we're living in a non-religious environment. And so since we don't have too much time, because I spent all my time trying to figure out how to stream because everything is messed up, I'm just going to go straight into the PowerPoint. So let me put the PowerPoint on the screen, inshallah. Okay. Okay, let me set it up. Okay, I'm going to set this up to go directly to, it's another reason why I need a person to help me, even with this stuff. Oh, hold on. The PowerPoint. There it is. So why isn't it picking it up? Okay, let's connect to the PowerPoint. There it is. I'm going to put the PowerPoint on the screen so everyone can see, inshallah. Make it full. Okay, give me a second, guys. You know, I have to share it to the Zoom room too. Okay, there it is. Okay, so today we're going to wrap this chapter up by speaking about how to maintain your Muslim identity when you're living in an environment that is non-religious. We talked yesterday about things that we can do to awaken the fitra. We have to, the fitra can be awakened through the words of Allah, through hearing about Allah, because that's what it's attracted to. Through hearing about Allah, that wakes up the fitra. And then the fitra can continue to be revived as it ponders. Hearing about Allah, that wakes up. It ponders the reality that everything that happens in this world, good and bad, happens because Allah willed it. Allah willed for it to happen. The war in Palestine. Any hardships you encounter in your life, Allah made it happen. Once you accept that, then you'll look at the blessings, the good things that Allah has given you, and you will realize that the good always outweighs the evil. We can't even account all the good blessings Allah has given us. And then after you realize that, you look at the bad things that's happening in the world around you, and you realize it's what Allah says. The bad things happen. They come from Him as a result of what we brought on ourselves. We brought the war upon ourselves. We brought whatever hardships that happened to us upon ourselves. And then it'll cause you to do a lot of self-evaluation. You'll take personal look at yourself and see what things you're doing that you should not be doing. And you'll stop doing them. You'll repent, turn back to Allah. And then you're on your way to maintaining the Muslim identity. That's how it begins. And that's when wala, wal-bara comes into play, allegiance and disassociation. Once you realize your shortcomings and work on changing, you'll set priorities. You'll begin to prioritize your loyalty, your allegiance. You'll prioritize your support. You will end up prioritizing what's pleasing to Allah and not what's pleasing to yourself. It'll help you to distinguish between the principles and actions that you do, the choices you make, and the behavior that you exhibit that aligns with what Allah says and that which contradicts what He says. And in turn, this will strengthen your personality. You'll develop a sense of belonging and unity and purpose. You'll end up attaching to other Muslims who are practicing a religion and trying to find their way back to Allah too. You'll attach to communities that have a lot of Islamic programs going on that can help keep your identity and keep the light of your fitra burning. And then you will look at how you interact with others. This will encourage you to want to maintain positive relationships with other people who share the same belief that you share. And it'll in turn keep you from compromising your belief by putting yourself in situations that can pull you back to that state that you were in before awakening occurred. And again, guys, we have examples. Allah left examples as to how we can do this from the companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My cousin Mukhtar spoke about how after the migration to Mecca, the Prophet put in effect, some rules, guidelines for the Muslims to abide by that would help to establish brotherhood. And then we also have the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which he's going to speak about later. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah, this is a treaty that the Muslims went into with the Quraysh that allows the Muslims to give dawah and to work on spreading the message of Islam. So of the companions, by learning about the companions of the Prophet, their life stories, that's why we're doing the life of the Prophet and the life of Abu Bakr. You see how, they embodied their allegiance to Allah and how they disassociated from that which comes between them, their fitra and Allah. And even today, we have some examples. It's hard to find them, but we do. Many Muslims prioritize eating lawful food by abiding by the laws of Allah and staying away from that which is haram to eat. This is a sign of our allegiance to Allah. Also for the women that dress properly, wearing a proper hijab. I ain't talking about wearing a rag. I'm talking about the proper dress, abaya, jilbab, and covering your chest. This helps helps us to uphold well better, and in turn keep the fitra burning. When the fitra within your heart sees that you're obeying Allah in how you dress, how you eat, how you behave, this keeps it burning. And also by engaging in social justice initiatives to combat injustice and oppression. This also shows allegiance to Allah, to the Prophet, and to the Muslims by standing up against social inequalities and discrimination. This helps to keep the light of your fitra burning. So thus, guys, what we covered in this chapter is that allegiance and disassociation, that's what the Shahada entails. And by implementing that Shahada correctly into our lives, that will keep the light of your fitra burning. Allegiance and disassociation is a transformative tool. It ignites your light and it guides you to your way back to Allah. And by embracing that allegiance to Allah and by distancing yourself from everything that stands between you and Him, this is how you keep your identity. This is how you keep the identity of the Muslim. And again, whenever we find ourselves falling short, we should look to the companions, look to how the early Muslims embodied these principles, and then look at ourselves and try to embody them in the world around us today. By doing this, guys, this is how we keep the light of the fitra burning. This is how we fuel our faith. And this is how we find our way back home to Allah. So that was the chapter. That concludes this chapter that we covered in the book of Well Better.